Hi, Epic INFJs. Today we're talking about what everybody else gets wrong about the INFJ. So I'm sure you've been in situations where people think you're the one who creates harmony, you're a good friend, you're the one who does mediation, who wants everybody to get along, who stays in the background and doesn't really get in the forefront when it comes to deciding what to do or who wants to get into an argument. You're rather the chill friend. But what happens if you once get out of your way and you express something that not everybody likes? When you really reach a point where your opinion has to be voiced, where you stand up for yourself, what happens with the people around you? I can guarantee you that in so many situations, people were completely taken back. They were shocked, some have cried, others are not sure that you're the same person you've ever been. The reaction you get is pretty extreme. And so one gets to question, what's the reason for that? Is it just that everybody underestimates the INFJ? I think that is too easily said because, what does it mean to be underestimated? In what regard? And why is it going on? What is the problem here? Why are people so shocked when this happens when all it's happening is that you express your true opinion? I mean, let's be honest about this. You're not doing anything that comes out of pure anger. It's just that this one time you express your honest opinion. Today we're going to talk about what's actually going on there. Why do people get it so wrong when it comes to you? Why are they so shocked? Have you been pretending to be somebody else and they haven't been aware of it? I don't think that's the case, but I do believe that we as INFJs are not aware of what we portray towards others and therefore are actually holding ourselves back. When people underestimate you, when people have a wrong perception of you, in most cases, it will not be for your benefit. So today we're going to talk about how to change that. Do we actually want to change that? Isn't it something good to be sort of underestimated and then just do our own thing? We're going to discuss this because there are two sides to this. Remember, before we get started, to download the poster to the 5 Pillars to an INFJ Epic Life. It will help you to start your INFJ Epic Life today. And if you want to take it to the next level and you want some big results and accountability, then work with me 101. All the information you find in the links in the description. So today's topic is something that not many INFJs talk about because yes, INFJs are being underestimated. INFJs have this rage within them. They have this dark side. We all know that. But what we're not talking about is why people are not aware of it and why so often we're actually forced to go this far. Because the thing is this, every single time you're forced to go that far that you express your deepest anger or some kind of strength, some kind of selfish act, you show, let's say, your heart side, then it's because you've been pushed this far. And why are we being pushed this far? We're being pushed this far because we as INFJs go through life and very often want others to get that we deserve better without us telling them, without us demanding it. It's I'm being your friend, I'm, making myself small, I'm letting you shine, I'm giving you space, I'm giving you freedom, and you're not appreciating what I'm doing for you. I'm actually doing all of that without you recognizing it. And that's a big mistake we're actually not aware of very often. We subconsciously believe that others are actually aware of what we're doing for them, that we're aware that we're holding ourselves back, we're showing them this side of ourselves in order for them to shine, and that they should not only be aware of it, but appreciate it. But this is a wrong conclusion. People don't understand this. All they can understand is what they see and what they experience. You want them to look at you and say, oh, there's this person who's so strong, who is so selfless. They have so much power and energy and just empathy to give that in itself already makes them appreciate you. INFJs go through life very often thinking, and I'm including myself into this, as a default state. People recognize our strength. They know we're sort of holding it back or giving some of that to them because we're strong, because we have all of this capacity. But people can only see what is being shown to them. INFJs are the typical example of the hidden iceberg, that has like a little tip on the top that is like outside of the water, and the majority, 90%, is below the water. People are not aware of what you're doing for them. They're not aware of the power you're holding back. They're not aware of all that strength that lies beneath it. And this is something that doesn't have to be a bad thing. It can be a great thing if you think about it. It can help you when it comes to navigating uncomfortable situations, when it comes to socializing, when it comes to networking, when it comes to friendships and relationships altogether. But it will be a problem if you are not aware of it, if you are not aware that people only see what you show them. What is it that most people will see? They will look at you and they will say, oh, that's a person who probably doesn't have their own opinions. That's somebody who's a follower. That's somebody who needs somebody to tell them where to go. And on top of that, they're afraid of voicing their opinion. They have a lack of strength within them, and that's why they hang around me. And that is what people perceive in most cases. This is not a judgment towards the people around you. This is not even a judgment towards you or myself or other INFJs. That's just the way it is. And I can guarantee you, even you, if you would meet another INFJ and you experience this, very often, this would be the conclusion you would have. Unless, you think about it, that's an INFJ, and then you rationally think about the fact that there's probably this big iceberg, underneath the surface, this power, this strength, everything they're holding back in order to make it comfortable for you. So, as I said, it's not about other people making a mistake. It's about us recognizing that this is just a normal conclusion. For me, who has been working with INFJs for almost a decade now, this has become very evident that I meet people and I have a certain perception about them. And then with time, I recognize, no, I'm talking to an INFJ. They're probably much stronger than they look, or the way they express themselves. They're not somebody who just wants peace and harmony, but who has like an agenda. Nothing negative about it, but who knows what they're doing and why they're doing certain things, and that there is a rational process behind it. But I know that because of my experience. I know this because, I work with INFJs all the time. Most people will not get it. And that's why they get so much of what the INFJ is about and who the INFJ is so wrong. So what do we do about this? Well, first off, let's recognize this. Let's not assume that the people around you will know your strength. Let's assume that they will rather see and judge you by what they experience. Nothing more. And in most cases, they will think you're weaker than you are less opinionated than you are, and that you're not as convinced of your own opinions as they might be. When in reality, it's the total opposite. You very well know what you like. You just don't voice it. You don't care about people knowing it or not. You are much stronger than people think, because the reason why you're giving away so much of your power is because you can. Because you feel like, although I am making space for others, although I'm diminishing my light, or I'm dimming my light a little bit in order to let others shine, I'm still big enough. I can still hold my ground. I can still feel like I'm not losing myself. A lot of people cannot do that. In many videos, we talk about how important it is to change that behavior, because we give away so much of our power in order to satisfy like this short-term wish for us to, help others, create harmony, create a positive environment, when in the end, you're just diminishing the power that could help you to fill up your own energy. And in the end, that's the whole thing. Like, the more you fill up your own cup of energy, the more you give to yourself, the more you actually, put more and more energy towards you and your opinion, and you make it more solid, the more energy you will have to give. So maybe at some point you won't give 30% of your energy away, how your default state is, or my default state is, but you'll only give away 5% of what you have to give. But your overall energy has become so big and so illuminating and so vibrant and so powerful that those 5% are way more energetic and more powerful than those 30% from before could ever be. So why are we doing this? Is this really just because we want to do good for others? See, when I say we have to give energy to ourselves first, that doesn't mean that you have to stop caring about others. It doesn't mean that you have to become the selfish person or actually that you give less. But to understand why you're doing this, that it isn't always out of some altruistic reason, but that there's always some psychological need hidden underneath it. And that psychological need is for others to get that you're enough. Listen to this carefully. This is one of the things that most people struggle with. We all do, INFJ or not, this feeling of being enough. And one of the things we've been taught from childhood on, because of the way our system works, because we're so, adaptable, because we understand others so well, is that in order to get other people's approval, we have to make them feel like their opinion matters most. That's what a lot of people just demand from their environment. And we as INFJs, if we're not developed in many cases, which of course we're not when we're children, learn to play by those rules. We learn how to play that game that is based on us sort of keeping our head above water. That's it. And everything else focusing on what makes that person around us feel their best. So when we're adults, we're still playing that game. We're still trying to fill up that void. We're still trying to have this feeling of being enough. And we do this by saying, look how much I'm giving. I'm giving more to you than you're giving to me. I mean, think about it. How often in those situations where you're with other people, you're the one who writes more often, who's more accommodating, who steps out of their way, probably way more often than the people you're doing this for are, at least from your perspective, right? So why are we doing this? Why are we giving, let's say, 70% when we're only expecting 30% from the other side? We're doing this because then others couldn't have another choice but to like us. We're giving so much. Then, of course, they're going to give us this feeling of, yes, you're such a good person. You're doing so much for me. You're sacrificing so much for me. You're so strong. Thank you. I want to be your friend, and so on. This is our psychological need at that moment. But the other person doesn't give that to you. In most cases, this is not the way. That's why we continuously play this game and we feel like, oh, I just have to give a little bit more. I have to be a little bit extra nice. I have to let them shine a little bit more. And it doesn't come from like a rational standpoint, right? We're doing this thinking, oh, I want to just make the other person feel good. But before you know it, there's this one situation where you say, okay, now I'm going to put myself first. It happens from time to time. And then the other person is totally shocked. How could you do this? You're actually taking away from me. You're putting yourself in this position. And then for the first time, you recognize that the other person had no idea that you were sacrificing, that you were doing things in order to accommodate the other person. So that is something that we have to consider, both of those things. First off, how do we stop this constant need to get approval of being enough? It is, of course, not an easy game or an easy concept, but to get to a place of how would I act if I thought I was enough? If the way I am, the way I want to do things, the way how I nourish myself and give energy to myself, that would be enough to be appreciated, to be accepted, to be loved by everybody around me. If I actually felt that, how would I act? And you would act in a way where you wouldn't give more than the other person is giving. If they're giving 30% and you're giving 70%, then the point is to say, I'm going to give 30% also, so it becomes the same, so 50-50. And the remaining energy, I'm going to put into myself. And it's a practice. But the thing is this, the more you actually embrace this, the less people are going to be shocked, the less people are going to get things wrong about you because the way you live your life is not based on that concept anymore. And also when you start living this process, you recognize that, yes, I'm facing my fears. Now, if I choose to do what I want, and I don't do it just in those cases when I just can't take it anymore and I just have to, lash out and do what is for me, but that is actually my default state of I make sure I give my oxygen mask to myself first. You know, when this is the way you live, you don't feel like you have to overcompensate. There's always this thing of people see what matters to you. People see what you're about. You actually show more of that hidden iceberg all the way through. And, you know, not only are you getting to a place where you, by taking action, are overcoming this need of getting other people's approval, you give it to yourself by doing these steps. This is the one thing. The other thing is that people actually get to know you more. They actually recognize your strength. They recognize who you are and what you can do. Because if you're always keeping these things hidden, there is no way for people to know all that power that you do have. And when you then make it a point to let other people shine, or, you know, you make room for them, or you take your time for them, they can actually recognize that you're doing something for them because they see the difference. Before, they couldn't see it. All they saw was what you continuously do, which is diminishing your own power in order to make them feel good. To them, that looks just like the normal you and who you are. So if you want to change that concept, and it will change all your relationships, it will definitely help you in your growth process, it will help you in your overall energy, then start this approach. Start focusing on you. Start taking steps today that will make people see on a daily basis all of your strength, who you are, what you're capable of doing, instead of diminishing it, hoping you will get like some kind of positive feedback for that. People will not know it and therefore won't be able to give you what you're looking for. Remember, if you want some more insights on that transformational journey, how to tap into your INFJ Epic Life, then download the poster on the 5 pillars to an INFJ Epic Life. And if you say, now is my time, I'm going to take that transformation really seriously, there are no excuses anymore, then work with me privately. All the information you find below. And if you want to watch another video now that is in alignment with today's topic, then watch the video What Nobody Expects of the INFJ.